Welcome to another episode of Painfully Fabulous. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Christine. We are CRPS warriors and here to remind you
When life is painful, you can still be fabulous.
So, hey, everybody, we're back. Except Christine's in sunny Curacao on vacation. And today we wanted to do something very special with the amazing Conquer CRPS Warrior of the Month, Miss Carla Fairchild. She
Hi.
an amazing, amazing woman who I'm so honored to get to know a little bit over these past couple months. I've been following her for years online. And just she is a ray of sunshine. So today we wanted to get together, learn a little bit about Carla and
Hi, thank you for having me. I am so thrilled and so honored to be a part of this amazing community. And when you reached out to me, it blew my mind that you had been following me and like I had no idea because I'm like, nobody, and it's amazing how life is and we've connected and yeah, so here we are. I love it. Yeah, this is awesome.
good, good. And you truly do sparkle and shine. And I think it's amazing because not dissing anybody's information or anything, but Carla is part of our weekly support group. And so every week we get together and we get to chat about the trials and tribulations of CRPS, but just the way that you conquer it with such positivity and attitude is just so admirable. And I'm hoping we could share that with our painfully
Oh, I
fabulous.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. As you know, it's not always easy, right? The challenge is real, the pain is real, the everything that comes with it, is real, from head to toe, but we all have our journeys, and I think throughout my life, we all have challenges, and I can only speak for myself. So I've just learned through different therapies and things, and I had wonderful parents and encouragement that I just, I happen to like myself, and this illness chips away at you, chips away at you, and you can't do a lot of things that you could do, and I'm like, no, it's not going to own me. And, I've always been a creative person, and that's always been an outlet. But a friend of mine years ago really encouraged me and pushed me. And I tapped into that. And it has been such an amazing blessing to be able to express myself, connect with others. I just connected with somebody the other day. She bought a piece the other morning, and she has other health challenges, but she saw something that touched her. And that connection means so much to me. And I've always, throughout the years, I'm like, this has to mean something. I don't know, And I just feel like that has pushed me and to be positive and to persevere. And I have two kids, they're older now, but I just wanted to show them as well, like, don't give up.
Right.
Don't give up. Keep
That's right.
pushing. You see mommy down, going through a very difficult times for years now, almost 19 in March. But they see me get up when I can. I'll paint in bed. I will draw, sketch, and you know what I'm saying? Like on the floor. I will like do whatever. And it might be for 10 minutes, but I did it and it made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so the little things of those things, I always worked out, and was into fitness and eating healthy. And I can't really do majority of clearly anything I used to do, right? I can't
So
even
then
go to
let's
the gym.
let's jump back then.
Yeah.
So it's been 19 years since you've had
Yes.
yes. Let's
Yes.
get what was Carla's life before chronic pain?
Yeah, yeah. So before that, I had a small business doing t-shirts and designing, working with a lot of boutiques and local like medical places, doing logos, doing bling. I had customers come to my house. I had a website. I was a single mom, and went through a terrible divorce. But that was okay. I picked myself back up. I was doing shirts on my garage floor and built up and built up and built up. And I used to work out all the time, ride bike, walk, go to the gym, go to the beach. I love the ocean, the beach, the sound of the waves, things like that. I used to go there and walk in the water. You know, friends that were very into the same things, travel, you know, all these wonderful things. I had just had a, you know, a normal, I guess, life raising my kids, very close to my family, very close to my mom and my dad. So I had just a regular life, and then took my kids to a bounce house. We were invited, my daughter was 2 and my son was 5, and we were in the bounce house, and I sprained my ankle. And I thought I was Michael Jordan, and I'm not. But anyway, after that, I couldn't walk. My foot was elephantitis, burning red, you know, all these complexities. And I just thought it was going to heal. And, you know, was seeing my orthopedic, doing all the right things, but I couldn't walk and I was in extreme pain. And then it was about 6, 7 months later that I went in to change my boot into a gladiator boot. And the nurse looked at me and she left the room, came back and gave me a pamphlet about RSD, which was CRPS was called back then, reflex sympathetic dystrophy. I didn't know what she was talking about. I had no idea. My dad was a doctor, but I'd never heard of this. 3 letters, right? So she told me to look it up and read all about it. And she said, you know, you're going to need blocks done immediately. And I didn't even know what that was, to be honest with you. So I read about it. I'll never forget that day that I looked it up. And I checked every box. Yeah. And I knew that my life wasn't just going to change, but I knew my kids' life was going to change. So I did everything I could to try to get this thing out of me because it scared me. I knew it was, you know, but I tried the blocks, physical therapy, never missed a beat. The medications, unfortunately, I have a bad reaction to medications, so I can't take them. And I did everything, all kinds of therapies, nothing, 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 nothing. And so from there just led to other things, hyperbaric chamber, 3 spinal stimulators, other therapies, set therapy, cranial therapy, you know, dry needling, et cetera, ointments, lotions, potions, you know,
Did you
prayer.
any relief from any of these things?
No, it's actually now progressed into my left leg. So now I have both extremities all the way down. It's really bad when I get the spasms, because with this comes spasms. Maybe not for everybody. They don't have them, right? But everybody's different. But unfortunately, I will get them whenever. It doesn't matter. I could have them in the middle of the night. I could have them just doing, I've been carried out of water, events, concerts. I've been hospitalized, and doctors there didn't even hear of it, didn't even know about it, you know? Yeah, which is so important that we're doing this, because even in the medical community, it's so important to be educated.
Does your friend or loved one have complex regional pain syndrome?
Do you want to help them raise CRPS awareness and show your support?
The Conquer CRPS store has what you need.
Check out the CRPS Support Squad collection that features designs for 16 family members or friends.
There are hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Find the link in the description box below.
You know?
Somebody said the other day, just a trigger warning for anybody out there, CRPS is nicknamed the suicide disease.
Right.
And a warrior that we were talking to the other day actually said it's not the pain, it's not the symptoms,
Right.
it's the system.
Yes.
System and the lack of support, awareness, options.
Yes.
That's what kind of triggers the nickname too. Awful.
Yes, it's awful. And people don't know that. And I don't know the reactions that you get or others get, but like they see me limping or in pain. People have stopped me, really kind people. And then some people judge, very judgy. I've had it all across the board, you know? And it's like when I try to explain, you can just see it goes right over the head. Some people are interested, but it's very little. And even in the medical profession, I've unfortunately come across some doctors that are cruel. I mean, one doctor told me I was his first failure. I
Yeah.
mean, who wants to hear that? You know?
Mhm.
Um, it was like, wow, really? And then, of course, I never saw him again. And
So just wondering then, is that maybe what started your what I call your spiritual journey, where doctors and traditional treatments, we could say, might not have been working properly and you knew you had to help yourself somehow?
yes, I think that definitely came. I always was a spiritual person, but I definitely do believe going through this, you have to dig deep. I mean, there are days when I'm stuck in bed and my leg looks like the devil, like I've been possessed. I mean, I have videos and videos of, and it's like you have to dig deep. So yes, I have dug real deep and I meditate quite often. In fact, I emailed you earlier. I was trying to think of, I love, yeah, the Daily Shine. I get it on Spotify. It's so amazing. But I went through hypnosis
Okay.
with somebody near Tarpon Springs. Her name is Debbie Lane, and she's certified. Do you know of her? Because I know that you lived in this area.
No,
She's
but
amazing.
Tarpon Springs just makes my heart
I know, it's so awesome. I love Tarpon Springs. So she lives near there. I can't go to her anymore because it can't, it's not my budget. But I years ago went to her. Boy, did I learn a lot about my body, my mind, my breath, my heartbeat, my chakra, and I tapped into that. And she taught me to use visualizations. So I will use that. That is really very calming. My bathroom has become my gym and my little sanctuary. So I have my candles and whatnot, to makes me feel calm. And I will just lay there and visualize certain things that she taught me to try to not cure me, of course, or lower the pain, right? Lower it where I can at least not feel that level of pain where it's like I'm on the cliff, right?
right. Be
And
okay with not being okay.
right, yes. And it's helped me to focus, although with a lot of people, but it's like sometimes I get very fatigued because I don't sleep well. I get fog brain. I can't remember well. And of course, menopause, and all this stuff going on. I'm like thinking, oh my gosh. But when I do that and I find that center of within myself, I do see that I can focus better,
Yeah.
So sometimes I get astray with that, just so many things going on. But it's very important. And it's for somebody who can't take medication, you have to find your way, and that definitely is part of my, regimen. Yeah, for sure.
I took a 6-week mindful based stress reduction course online, and I've been trying to implement that in how I help people, but it's really difficult to speak to chronic pain patients and be like, you know what? The pain really is in your brain, and we're going to work to calm and let's do a body scan and trying to explain all that to some people. It's just like, okay, lady, what's wrong with you?
Of course. Well, I think too, everybody has a different mindset
Yes.
where if you're, open to that and ready for that, I think that you really have to be ready for it because you do have to be disciplined on really focusing. It does take a lot. And I've met a lot of patients through your amazing support group and other people. And I have to keep in check that so many people are in different journeys. And so, what might work for you and I might not work for them, or they just don't, it's not their gig, right? I mean, sometimes I can listen to music and boom, my mood is different,
Yeah.
because I'm like, I love the, so, and you can express yourself like in, singing and kind of moving. And I
Oh, I
think
love
that
that.
helps, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're really down, there's something inside of you that has to say, all right, it's time to turn on the music.
Yes.
Right? And you got to be aware of that and you have to honor that too. And
Yes.
I think that's the difficult part when you live with
Yeah.
chronic.
Yeah, because again, I have to go back to I like myself and I
Yes.
love life.
Yes.
It's like it's only one time here and I don't want to like this to think that it owns me. No, I want to, I love the arts. I love music. I love people that are, good people you can connect with and relate to and create memories. I love my children, my animals. They're another part of my regimen is my animals. I mean, it's really important. There's unconditional love there. There's no judgment. Because I'm sure you have probably gone through scenarios with certain people throughout your journey where you're very judged for having this. They don't understand it. And unless I can whip up my foot when it's like this big and looking all like alien, or I'm in bed and I'm not talking to anybody, for days, it's like they look at me because I'm a woman that I put on makeup. I like fashion. I like to dress up, express myself, like, what are you expecting? Somebody that has an illness to look witchy, look like, I don't, you know what? I still
You
can't
want
be
to look
me.
miserable, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
It's like, no, mm-mm.
that's part of the challenge with
It
invisible
is.
illnesses. We
Yeah.
feel like we are not invisible ourselves, but this
Right.
riddling our body.
Right.
Nobody can see it but
Yeah. And
us.
I'm just like your beautiful smile and I smile and you just kind of, we were talking about the smile.
So that brings me actually to my next point. So we were planning this for a couple weeks, and I was going to pick Carla's brain about how awful it is to live with CRPS and how impactful it's been on her life and all of these things. But this week in group, she brought up an amazing story that just totally rewired this whole episode. And it's about how her smile is her armor. And I think it's so appropriate in life in general for all of us. Carla, can
Yes.
you share that, please?
Yeah, it came out of the blue. I went to my local post office and I was struggling walking. And the gentleman that was helping me, he noticed and he felt for me. And, I was teared up a little bit because the pain, I was trying to keep it together. And he noticed my ring. And so he was like, wow, that's some wedding ring. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not a wedding ring. That's my armor. I said, I have a chronic illness and it's just, you can tell it's a hard morning for me. And he looked at me and he smiled and he goes, no. He goes, your smile is your armor. Ooh,
I know it just
go again. Yeah.
it gets me because
Yeah.
it's really true. I mean,
Ooh.
you're living with intense chronic pain. We both are. And
Yeah.
yet we choose to try to smile. We
Yes.
choose to greet others with kindness and
Yes.
not acceptance, but just it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is acceptance, I think. It is. And so yeah, when he said that, I literally tears went
Yeah.
and he goes, it's true. And I was like, wow. And I said, well, right back at you because you are like an angel. Like this was meant to be. Like it was a moment that I needed. And then when I shared it to the group, it was like just touched so many people. And I didn't even know that it was going to do that. So that's another thing about talking and bringing things up, like, right? You just, yeah.
That man probably had no idea what an impact it was going to make on you either. It just came out of his mouth, bloop, and the
Yes,
impact was made.
yes, and immediate. Yeah, it was really something. It was really,
And I think he summed you up as an entire human being with that one statement.
it was really something. And I was like, with everything happening, I was like, wow, that is so beautiful.
Yeah,
And we're going to keep smiling.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you face the world, it seems. Like
It-
even earlier when you're like, I went through a very messy divorce, you're like, but it is what it is. I'm fine.
Right.
Like you're
Right.
just
Right. Yeah. What are you going to do? I mean, that was a time and it was a moment and it sucked. Yeah. But I can say one thing, I did my hardest and I did everything to do for the unity of my family, but it didn't work out. You know what I do? I have children. I have to be a mom. I have to put food on the table. I have to get my shit together. Sorry, get together and yeah. So yeah, I have to focus on the now And the future, I'm excited about doing more awareness, touching more people, talking about it. Because if we're not going to talk about it, nobody's going to know about it. If nobody knows about it, how are we going to get funding? If we don't have funding, we're not going to find a cure.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that being said too, I gotta, just because I'm looking behind you, and now
Oh,
it's your greatest therapy is your art.
thank you. Thank you. I
So
appreciate
skilled.
that.
So skilled.
Oh,
Let's talk
oh,
about it a
so
little
sweet.
bit.
And you're an artist too.
Oh, nothing like my sister though. Oh my God. She
Oh,
picked up a
yeah.
pencil again the other day, and I'm just like,
You're gonna have to send me some stuff.
I
Yeah, yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah,
But let's
yeah.
talk about your art journey. So it's your therapy, hey?
Yeah, it is my therapy, and it's funny because I used to paint many, many moons ago, but I didn't do anything with it. It was just actually when I was going through the divorce, I would sit and I would just sort of do something, whatever. And but I got remarried years later and got divorced, but he put all my paintings away in the closet. And
Oh, babe.
yeah, so but and then after we got divorced, I wanted to have new, have fresh, start over. And so a friend of mine was a painter, actually has a degree and he's in fine arts, he's amazing. But he went through my closet and he saw some, my work. And I was kind of embarrassed because he went to Vanderbilt and I'm like, oh my God, please.
Oh,
And
Carla.
he pulled it out. He goes, Carla, he's like, what are these? And I was like, oh God. I'm like, I did them. He goes, girl, you got to come out of the closet.
Yes, babe.
And I was like, what? And he brought him out and then he goes, you need to paint.
Yeah.
And he said it twice. And I was like, really? So I've had books of Picasso and Monet and, all the years. And so anyway, he gave me one of his Picasso books and he goes, paint this. And got me a canvas. Long story short, I painted, and it was such a release.
Yeah.
I learned that it gave me a space of distraction, motivation, inspiration,
What about control?
and control, but I really felt more of the emotion. Yes, and control probably came later, but at that moment I didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I got encouragements from some friends and I started selling at a local store. And then on my own, I just started looking up art galleries around the Bay Area, Tampa Bay area, and started submitting. And all of a
Oh,
sudden, I was getting accepted, and I thought, well, all right, you have a
Carla, show
health
the closet,
challenge,
baby.
but it doesn't mean your life is over. That's what that first show meant to me. I saw that piece the other day. Yeah, yeah. It was called Lost.
Wow.
So from there, I've just been very, very blessed and fortunate to be connected in this community. I've now been in several galleries, not just in the Bay Area, but California. I had this past weekend, New York. There's a whole billboard with the art show called Current Mood and in Times Square on a screen billboard. And I'm now commissioned to do some stuff, blah, blah, blah. And so every day it's like, yeah, I got this, CRPS. But it doesn't own me. It doesn't
That's it.
have me, right? It might be progressing. It is, right? That's reality. But I can still fight. I can still live, right? I can still express myself. And if I'm going to be judged, so be it. Then you're not for me.
Yeah.
But if we connect and we can talk and we can, do better and more things and, yeah, and so the fight is every day, but I think it's for a purpose. And I wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So there are reasons, whether we know it at the time of what's happening in our lives, but then it becomes a vision if you're open to it. It doesn't happen like that. It
No.
doesn't happen overnight. Nah, nah. And that's part of the coolness of it, actually. That's part of building you as a person, right? Because I lost a lot of me, you know,
But you've built
but I'm
so much.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather always used to say everything happens for a reason, the good, the
Yes,
bad, and the ugly.
right.
Really, just in this conversation right now, you're really, really shining a light to that.
Oh,
It's
I
awful what
appreciate
we
it.
go through, but I mean, the things that you've been able to create, your
you.
artwork, again, is
I
just,
appreciate it.
it's phenomenal. And you've dedicated so much of it to how you feel and to raising awareness towards, yes, like,
Yes. Oh, yes, because that is who I am, and I'm authentic. And, sometimes I like to paint something, because different, maybe it could be an animal or something, but I'm an animal lover, but a lot of it has to do with the feelings and emotions and things that are happening, and it just happens, and I let it be. And who connects with it is great, but I've also met some amazing people, other artists in this area, and it's so inspiring, and I love it. And I also tapping into wearable art and getting, things prepared for other things, and painting jeans. I just got commissioned to do some jeans for a friend of mine who works for an incredible organization out in Nashville helping women.
what's
And
the name of the organization? Let's throw it in.
it's called Thistle Farms.
Thank you,
Thistle
Thistle
Farm.
Farm,
Yeah,
for all of the amazing
I
work
know.
that you do.
Yes.
True.
Oh, phew, beyond.
And
So,
for
yeah.
including her in that.
Yeah, and so, I feel like, I've come to the point. I used to be so like filled with anxiousness and anxiety at times because I wanted to prove that I was somebody, because I've had people tell me that I'm not worthy,
Yeah.
right? So that's a big challenge when you're told that you're a failure, you're not worthy, you've got a disability, so you're X, you're nothing, and that's not true.
Just
There
buries and buries and buries you.
Yeah, it bears you. And I guess that's part of the challenge of rising above, right? Right.
Which you do like a champion, girl.
Oh, thank you. And so are you. And so are like so many people that, yeah, are amazing warriors. And but I think the more the better, the louder the voice, you know.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the let them theory?
No,
This is something new that I'm learning about this week.
Okay.
I might edit this out, we'll see. But
Okay.
it's a woman named Mel Robbins, and she's got this theory called let them. She went
Okay.
her whole life worrying about every little thing. She just gives this example that she was at her son's prom, and she just got his tux picked out for him. She just got the limo for them. She was planning their lunch and everything. And then all of a sudden it started raining, and she was freaking out. She didn't know, oh no, their tux is going to get wet. Oh no, I got to find different reservations because we were going to eat outside. She was just overwhelmed and worried, right? And her daughter said to her, Mom, let them. Just let them. Just let life happen. So
Let
we
them.
got this awful diagnosis. We got the people who want to judge us. We got the pain and all that stuff. Let them. Let
Right.
it. What can we do? We can wear our smile as an armor.
That's right. Exactly. And that's what I've learned along the way. And I've had to let people go. I've had to let situations go because I can't have it. And I don't want it. I don't I just want positivity. I'm a positive person, and that's what I need around me. And yes, there's going to be stuff there, that's life, right? But the less I have of that I can control, and I can let the light in, like right now, the sun is coming through. Yeah, I'll take more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have enough to deal with.
Oh, give me some sunshine, by the way. I'm in Canada.
I, I'm so sorry. I'm sending it. I'm trying. Oh my God. Oh, gotta come
Oh,
visit.
yes. Oh my gosh. I miss Florida so much. I haven't been home and we won't say how many years because then I'm going to age myself.
Oh, you look fantastic.
Oh, well, thanks, love. Um, this has been a really awesome chat. Just kind of getting to know you and sharing some positivity.
I love it.
Do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to leave the painfully fabulous viewers with?
I think just be painfully fabulous. Be who you are, smile, And when it's down, you know, I get it. But you can do things, little things that can help you. And even with this incredible support, just the other day, somebody was feeling really rotten, and then boom, 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 after some conversation, you know, felt a little bit better. So I just think that just never give up, never give up. And we're here for you, and everybody's a warrior, and we're in this together, but always smile. I would think that that would be, you know, a good thing to, you know, end with. Yeah.
I love that. I love that because your smile is your armor.
Is your armor.
Right? And
Yeah.
we'll stay on, but I'm gonna stop the
Okay.
recording in just a second. But Carla,
Sounds
thank
good.
you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna link all of her artwork down in the description box. Everybody, please be sure to follow her on Instagram. Check out her website. If you're in Florida, go check out one of her galleries. If you're in New York, check out the Times Square. Check out Carla Fairchild. And again, remember everybody, wear your smile, it's your armor, and stay painfully fabulous.
Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell below to get notified of our upcoming episodes. And stay painfully fabulous.
Bing!